What role does God really play in our lives? Some say God is the writer, the divine author, and we are simply characters in a story that has already been written. Every chapter already outlined. Every scene mapped out, which means no amount of prayer, willpower, or desire can rewrite the plot. For some, that brings comfort. For others, frustration. If God is the author and life is the book, then choice becomes illusion. Prayer becomes performance, and struggle is pointless. It explains why some seem destined for ease while others fight endlessly for scraps of hope. In this view, some lives are simply written to rise, while others never to leave the ground. This idea isn't new. It exists in ancient texts and modern minds. Destiny, fate, the divine script. But here's the deeper question. If this is true, what does it say about God? And perhaps more urgently, what does it say about us? Is God a distant author or an active co-creator? Is life a fixed story or a narrative still being shaped? If God already knows the ending, does that mean we're just playing parts? Or are we writing alongside the divine, discovering the story together? And if some lives feel more blessed than others, is that the will of God or the consequence of something else? Systemic inequality, randomness, karma, privilege? Can divine love coexist with unequal outcomes? Or is this idea of the divine script more about how humans try to make sense of suffering than a truth about God at all? Maybe the real question isn't just what role does God play in our lives? Maybe it's also, what role do we play in how we define God? Is God writing, watching, whispering, walking with us? Or are we writing and calling the echoes of our own longing divine? What if God is less of a being and more of a framework, a way we orient ourselves to the unknown? For some, God is a father. For others, a force. For some, a fabrication. But all of these forms shape how we live. Even if you don't believe in God, are you still reacting to the idea of one? What if the role God plays in life says more about the person than the divine? Some imagine a punishing God and live with guilt. Others, a permissive one, and avoid accountability. Still others reject God altogether and put faith in control. What qualities did you assign to God growing up? And how have those shaped how you show up in the world today? For some, God holds space for mystery. For others, it has been replaced by achievement, love, the universe, the self. If you removed the word God, what would still remain in its place? Sometimes the most defining role God plays is in the silence, the prayers unanswered. For many, God is a longing, a wound, a space. Have you ever defined your spirituality more by what felt missing than what felt present? What if God reflects how we understand justice, self-worth, love? Not a source of truth, but a reflection of our relationship with it. What does your view of God say about how you see yourself? Maybe some things are written, but maybe others are waiting for us to pick up the pen. Maybe the plot twists aren't proof of chaos, but invitations to co-create meaning. What role does God play? Perhaps not the same role for everyone. For some, comfort. For others, control. For many, a mystery that keeps evolving. And maybe the most honest answer is we don't know for sure, but asking the question together might be the most divine act of all. Thank you for watching Permission to Wonder Episode 1, the God series. Feel free to join the conversation. New videos weekly. No easy answers, just better questions.